you so much for that very kind introduction. It is my honor to present our speaker today and a very important topic. We will be talking about trauma, and our speaker Haslinah will discuss the mechanisms that bring about trauma, but also how to heal it through storytelling, which I think is a very important topic to talk about. So without further ado, I would like to give a brief overview of Haslinah. So Haslinah is a licensed counselor with the Board of Counselor Malaysia and owner of Lina Counseling Cafe. She specializes in trauma therapy and family and couple therapy. She graduated with a master's in counseling from Help University and a BAc in Applied Social Science from Australian College of Applied Social Science. She also wears many other hats. So she has been a part of the women empowerment movement for over 20 years, a founding member and a former president of Women's for Equality Association. She is the president-elect and social service director of Rotary Club Alpha Ampang. She's also a qualified valuer, and most importantly, a mother to 3 kids and 6 grandchildren. So over to you, Haslinah, to start our topic. But before that, a few house rules. We will be taking questions at the end. You may type it in the chat and I will verbalize this to Haslinah. Or at the end of the session, you can also turn on your mic after you've raised your hand and I will call for you and you can ask your question directly. Thank you, everyone. And over to you, Haslinah.
Thank you, Farihin. Okay, I'm going to share screen right now. Can share all participants. Hang on, give me 2 minutes. Oh dear, where is it? We are starting this with a little game. I would like every one of you to write down in the chat box and tell me. Where is it? Hang on. Why can't I see it? Sorry. Tell me.
You okay, Haslinah?
Yeah, I can't find my slide on the, yeah. Okay, write in the chat box and tell me, for a fulfilling life, what do you want and need? Can you write it in the chat box, please? I'm trying to share my thing, but it doesn't seem to come. Okay. Can you all do that, please? Oh, why is it not here?
Something what is fulfilling in our life.
Yes. I can't, I can't see my slide. Why is it not here?
Click on the share.
Huh? Yeah, I would like to share.
But yeah, you can share.
Yeah, but I can't find it. Strangely, I can't find it. Okay, while I look for my slide, can you all do that, please?
Sure.
Let's have like 2 minutes to do that. Okay, there you are. Okay, can you all see?
Yes.
Okay, great, wonderful. Okay, so I can't see the chat box. So Farihin, you have to tell me what is it that they have written. So this is what I want you all to do for a fulfilling life. What do you want and need? What is it that makes you happy? Tell me, what do you want?
Okay, so there are a few answers already, and most of them involve health.
Huh? Involve?
Health. To be healthy.
Health. Okay, health.
Yeah.
What else?
Safety, human connection, happiness.
Human connection. Okay. Just now somebody said happiness. What do you mean by happiness? Define what is it that makes you happy? Human connection.
Make a difference and continue to be useful.
All right. Okay, give 3 more.
Reaching out to underprivileged people, helping others.
Helping others. All right. Oh, okay. So, okay. So, yeah, sorry. Okay, so some of you all said that health, safety, human connection. needing to make a difference into somebody else's life, and helping others is the one that makes you fulfill, to have a fulfilling life, right? To make you happy. Okay. So, which is very interesting because you all did not mention about like I need a house. I want a house. Yeah. I need money. I need to travel. I guess because most of you all have already achieved that. So sometimes we take things too much for granted, and because we already have it, so we don't mention it. So, but if I do this, when I do this exercise with the B40, so they will mention things like, you know, you need to live. I need shelter. Yeah. They need their health. Of course, they need their health. That means you need hospitals. Yeah, they need to be employed because they need money. Yeah, and to be employed, they need education, and faith and beliefs. These are very important to some people. Correct? Yeah. It may even cause war between one religion to another religion. You know, and recreation. You need to rest. Relationships, which some of you all have already mentioned, having a human connection. But what kind of connection? Must be a healthy one, isn't it? A happy one. So all these needs and wants, they are actually our human rights, right? So nobody can take this away from us. Yeah, like for like relationships. If I want to marry this person, and my parents say no, you can't. So not having the things that we want is one of the factors that cause mental health issues in mental health. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about trauma. I've worked with families of who has experienced domestic violence and the refugees. Yeah. So I've heard stories about them from them. Okay. So what is trauma? Can you all put in the chat box and tell me what do you think is trauma? Anybody? What do you think is trauma? Farihin, anybody write anything?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, guys.
Okay, so one person
Yeah.
has said a bad experience which brings fear.
Okay, okay. Anybody else? Yeah, it's a bad experience that brings fear. Okay. Anybody else? Any ideas?
Something that causes undue stress in your life.
Okay, great, wonderful. Okay, so what is trauma? So there's 4 types of trauma. Yeah. So basically, according to the American Psychological Association, trauma is an emotional response to a terrible event. So there's 4 types of trauma. Okay. First one is acute. Acute means it happens only one time, like accidents. Yeah. Or you are robbed, or you just gone through a breakup. Yeah. Or you have experienced infidelity. You walk into your room and open the door of the bedroom and you see your partner with another person. So that's very traumatic, very traumatic experience. Or you go to the hospital, your mom is dying, so you went in and then you see her all tied up to all these equipment and she passed away, and that's very traumatic. Yeah. So also, if you are raped, rape, and there's you're harassed, sexually harassed, but it's a one-time thing. This is acute trauma. Okay. So then there's the chronic trauma. Chronic trauma would be something like what happens in a domestic violence. Yeah. Yesterday, you got beaten by your spouse. Today, you also got beaten by your spouse. So it is something is continuous. So that is chronic trauma. Then there's complex trauma. Complex trauma is the one that normally happens in a war zone. That's what's happening in between Philippines and Israel, and they have been going through all this trauma from the bombings and the killings, and at the same time they may be going through their own family, domestic violence. So it's multiple trauma on top of another trauma. So there's complex trauma. Yeah. So then there's vicarious trauma. Vicarious trauma is basically like what I go through. these are the people who did not experience the trauma themselves, but they listen, you know, they go there and they see, oh my God, yeah, but it does not happen to them. So like for me, like counselor, every day I listen to stories after stories after stories, and it's kind of distressing to me. Yeah, there's one person who's actually an interviewer. So she goes into to the prisons and she interviews rapists. Yeah. So after she has interviewed so many rapists, she became traumatized. Yeah. They did not rape her, but she keep on hearing all these stories where then so when she goes out on her own, when she's walking around, she start to be hyper vigilant. Yeah. She's constantly on her toes and always looking behind if somebody's after her. Okay. So these are the 4 types of traumas. Okay, what is the impact of trauma? Normally, when we have stress, we go through stress. Let's say we go to work, and then our boss scolded us, you know, said something this one time. Oh, okay, we get a shot. The boss screamed at us, so we get a shot. Then say, oh, okay. Then we start to justify ourselves, or maybe he's having problems at home, yeah. So then we self-regulate our emotions and our action, our behavior. But when something that is very traumatic, yeah, we are unable to self-regulate anymore. So we go through this hyperarousal or hypoarousal. So in hyperarousal, there's the fight or flight mode. So okay, let's assume that while you were walking home, and then this T-Rex came out, and of course, what's the first thing you do? Yeah. So it's either you fight, you are ready, stand by to fight, or you want to run, fight or flight. Yeah. That's why your heartbeat start to dunk. Yeah, it goes very fast, and you are ready to you are what do you call, you're very tense. Yeah. So but another one is hypoarousal. That's when you see the T-Rex and you get frozen. Yeah. So when you go through hyperarousal, that's where you feel anxiety, you get panic, there's anger, there's hyperactivity and restlessness because you're constantly moving. You're ready, you're always very tense. But when you're frozen, that's where you go into depression. And what I do notice is when someone is depressed, one of the factors is because they feel helpless and hopeless. Yeah. Yeah. So then they go through disassociation, they're just sunk up. Okay. So this is what happened to the cardiovascular system. You know, the cortisol, it causes a lot of tension in your body, your muscle tense. Yeah. That's why you get people who are overstressed or traumatized. They have this backache. You know, because you're always tense. The body is always tense. Yeah. And you have immune system problems. Yeah. You have chronic autoimmune illnesses, heart attack, diabetes, stroke, and even cancer. And this one, the musculoskeletal tense muscles. You get migraine. You get back pain, and you have butterfly in your tummies. Okay, there's one thing about butterflies in tummies. You know what they say when you fall in love, they have this butterfly in your tummies. So you have to be very careful. What exactly? Why is this butterfly in the tummies? Is it actually? Are you in love or are you worried? Are you having anxiety? Yeah. Okay. So of course, then you have the low libido, erectile dysfunction, infertility, and maternal stress. All these are traumas. Yeah. Okay. And of course, the difficulty in breathing. And your whole body is overwhelmed. That's why you get hypervigilance. Yeah. And you may have flashbacks. So some people cope in a very self-destructive behavior. After the trauma, you drink too much, or you're driving too fast, you do self-harm. It's kind of overwhelmed you. It's too overwhelming, yeah. Then you either you sleep too much or you sleep too little. You can't concentrate. You just like zonking up. You are angry all the time because you did not process that trauma, yeah. So you're constantly because the body is constantly tense. So the tendency is you want to fight. So it doesn't matter if the figure that traumatized you is no longer there, but you still bring that with your relationship with other people. Yeah, then you have depression, anxiety, flashbacks. I wanted to put a stone walling. You all know what is stone walling, right? Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyway, stone walling is basically you know, when you quarrel with your husband or your wife, and then they just don't want to talk to you. Yeah. It's not, stonewalling does not mean that they are trying to reject you, anything like that. When a person stonewalls, it's because their emotion, they have too much emotions. They feel that if they just open their mouth, then it's like they will explode. Yeah, so they stonewall, so they move away. They don't want to talk to you. Yeah. Okay. So the difference between acute stress disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder. Although you have some people, you know, not everybody will experience post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, according to there's a research study by motor vehicle accidents with 112 patients. PTSD only make up 7.4% only. Yeah. So how do you know whether this is just a stress disorder or is it a PTSD? So it has to occur 28 days after the trauma. So it continues. You did not somehow you did not process it within this 28 days. It goes beyond, and you are still whenever you think of something, you flash back, you still think that you are still in that place. Yeah. Like for instance, a couple of refugees from Myanmar. So the Rohingyas, they go to Malaysia, and they refuse to leave their rooms, yeah, because the fear is still too intense. And when they sleep, they can still have those nightmares about what was happening in the house. Their houses were burned, yeah, and attempted rape on themselves, yeah. So depersonalization, for those who's not very familiar with all these words, first I would like to actually put actually I should have to come up with a what called that whatever that we discuss here is confidential. So yeah, once we leave this session, I hope that you all just forget about what I'm saying here, because I would like to share some of my own stories. Yeah. So yeah, I have experienced my own trauma. So at 18 years old, I was raped, yeah, by a stranger. So when you talk about depersonalization after it happened, oh, sorry. Depersonalization, that means you detach from yourself. So during that rape, I just turned my head because I don't want to know, because my life was in danger. He said, either your life, or you give me, or you kill me. Yeah, or he killed me. So he had his hand on my throat. So okay, so I said okay. So I turned my head. Whatever happens beyond my neck, I don't know. So I have detached myself. Yeah. So I was just looking at the lights going through the leaves, you know, just looking at that. So I don't know what happened to me. Yeah, until now, I have no idea. Yeah, so you are not yourself. So derealization is when you feel that the world around you is not real. Yeah. So after that incident, after that happened, after the rape happened, so I actually had to walk. I walked all from that place to, I was trying to get a bus to the bus station. It happened in the morning, and the only thing I remember was that it was already night, and I can only see lights. Yeah, I don't know where I am, so I just, it was just on, I was on automatic. Yeah, I was just walking without knowing where or what or how. So that's what trauma can do to us. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So this one you can actually assess yourself whether you are traumatized or not. This one you can find it from the you can just Google it. Yeah, then you can go through it and see you have disturbing memories or you have disturbing dreams. So do you feel upset? And this thing that you can read, just go through and Google and find it. Yeah. Okay, so we've just talked about what is trauma, what are the impact of trauma. So basically what my objective here is actually to show to you all or teach a little bit on what are the things that you can do if assuming somebody that you know is traumatized. Yeah, so there are many techniques on how you can mitigate this the impact of trauma, the effect of trauma. So there's EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization reprocessing. Then there's prolonged exposure therapy. Then narrative exposure therapy, written narrative exposure therapy, which I normally use for myself with my clients. I would use the three last one: prolonged exposure therapy, NET, and WNET. Yeah. Okay. So like it has support for this. So they did a research. They did a study on this. This technique. If you are just counseling, I mean you just support that person. Yeah. Support that person. After 1 year, they will still have 79% are still traumatized. They still have the effect. And if you do psychoeducation, that means psychoeducation. What I've just done was did a little bit of psychoeducation with you all. It will still have 80% of them traumatized after 1 year. So if you do narrative exposure therapy after 4 sessions, the effect will be 29%. So it's kind of effective. It's very effective. So what it is narrative exposure therapy or written narrative exposure therapy is to construct a coherent chronological narrative of the person's life, focusing on the traumatic event. Yeah. So what actually happens is that, okay, that one I will come back. So okay, now tell me, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, what do you see first? Tell me what you see. Please write down. Please write down in the chat. What do you all see? What's the first thing you saw? Anybody write anything?
Yeah. Butterfly, skull.
All right. Anything else? How about my handwriting? I'll be happy if anybody can talk. I mean, you don't have to silence yourself. I really feel I'm talking to myself. It's not fun. It's no fun. Normally, I would do this in a workshop where it's a face-to-face, so it's, that's more interactive. Yeah.
Both butterfly and skull.
Butterfly and skull. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Are you guys awake or you all seen it?
I see light blue shade, the color, big huge piece of color.
All right. Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Okay. Normally, this is what happens. Assuming like the butterfly means the good things that's happening in our life, or the positive things in our life. Some people will only focus on the positive. Correct? Just talk about the positive things. And if the skull is meant to be the negative things in our life, like the trauma, and that's all they do. They just focus on the trauma. Yeah. But actually our life is made up of all three: the screen, the mundane, the boring part of our life, Yeah, like sending our kids to school or just going to work. Yeah, those are still us. Do you all understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So what I'm trying to say here is that when a person is traumatized, normally they will focus on the dark part of their life. They will focus. Whenever I consult somebody, that's the first thing they will say. It's like nonstop, and it's always all black. It's always all black. Yeah. It's like their mind is everything is black. Yeah. But the truth is there are good things in their life, good things in your life, and there are the mundane, the simple things. Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's fine. It is normal. Negativity bias, that means the capacity to pay attention to negative experience is normal, is to protect ourselves from harm, but not too much. Yeah, we should, because if we look at things, it's always negative, that is where we feel very depressed. Yeah. So again, here's the negative bias. So many good things in our life, and yet just one little tiny things. It may be huge, but just one time, one experience. So why do we say that our life is so unfair and we throw it away? But the bad and good, they come together again. So then we ask ourselves, we ask the person, okay, assuming that what I'm trying to teach you all on how to talk to somebody who has been traumatized. Yeah, I'm sharing on how to. Yeah. So what kind of story do you tell about yourself? Is it always the black? So is it the black? So bring out their strengths. What are their strengths? What are the good things that's happening to them? Because the good and bad is still them. It's both of it. Still them. Yeah. To change their perspective that life is the good, the bad, and the mundane. The boring ones are also their life. Okay. So again, when a person is traumatized, yeah, that's part of our brain. There's the amygdala that controls our emotional responses and help our brain to store memories. Yeah. So this is what happened when we are traumatized. Our memories become fragmented, and then this associative amnesia, which I went through. Yeah, I block to protect myself. I block my memory, and I block out that about the incident, that particular part. What happens below my neck, I have no idea. Until now, I have no idea. Yeah. So according to this NET, the narrative exposure therapy, the theory is that memories are made of cold memories and the hot memories. What happens is that when a person is traumatized, all they could think is only about the hot memories. You know, what is it that's triggering them, and yeah, like for instance, I remember him putting his hand on my throat, and I'm feeling scared, you know, but I don't remember right after the trauma. I don't remember where we were. Yeah, when did it happen? So the order, the context of when it's happening. So that's why I guess it's very difficult when you make a police report, and then when you're investigated, and it's very difficult for you to actually remember all these the core memories. It's very difficult to remember. So the hot memory, the one that triggers you, the sensory details, the emotion, the physiological reactions, you know, feeling of vomiting, you know. And then the core memory will be the context and facts. Now, our task is to merge these two, to get all the hot memory and to get all the facts, the details. Okay, assuming, like, for instance, all right, okay, I have a client. The husband would, in the middle of the night, and she would be sleeping on the floor with her child, and he would switch off the lights, and then he would be standing there holding the knife. Yeah. So and then she'll be looking at her, and she's very traumatized. When I consult somebody, normally what I do is I use the oximeter. You all know what is oximeter, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I will check the blood level, and I also check the heartbeat. So while she was talking to me, this particular client, she was talking to me, she received a call from the husband. Her baseline, the heartbeat was 80 something, 85 like that. The minute she received the call, it went up to 120, I think. Yeah. Then I pointed it to her. Your heartbeat has gone down, gone up. Yeah. So at that, the minute she put down and she said, I want to leave my husband. Yeah. The culture is such that it's very difficult to leave your husband, very difficult, especially when it's coming from the refugees. There's so many things. But at that particular moment, she decided, okay, it's true. This guy is causing a lot of, has a lot of effect on me. So she decided, I want to leave my husband. Okay, I help her lah. That's nice. So what I do about that memory, the hot memory where he was standing with a knife, and I asked her, okay, do you remember your room? What do you have in the room? Do you know when was it? Yeah. What time was it? Then she would say it was about 8 or 9 something, and it was very dark, and the room was small, and they were sitting on the floor. You see, so she's not just talking about her feelings, her reaction, but also the context of it happening. Yeah. So once we put that together, yeah, we merge the hot memory with the cold memory, then it becomes just another memory. It no longer have that intense emotion on them. Yeah. Okay. All right. Do we have time to practice? Or no, I think we are about done, isn't it? So anyway, yeah. Anyway, if you yourself, like, do you know that okay, sometimes when we talk about stress and all, they say go do journaling. Have you all heard of that? Go journal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not very keen. I'm not keen on journaling because there must be some sort of structure. You can't be talking about all the bad things that's happening to you. You have to put your achievement. You have to put the good things that's happening to your life, and then you can see for yourself that, okay, this is who I really am. I'm not just all the darkness. Yeah. So basically, this is the step one. They write one specific trauma, and then step 2, describe feelings, and then step 3, the safe place. So the safe place is where okay, what is talking about my client just now, what was her safe place? Her safe place was then she ran to her brother's home where she feels secure. That is a safe place. Yeah. So okay, one example of one client, 15 years old, her mother jumped down from a building, so she saw the mother's dead body on the ground. So due to the impact of that trauma, she sleeps on the floor. So there's a cupboard, so she always see kind of a ghost on top of that cupboard staring at her. So she was experiencing that. So this is what I did for her. The first session, we just talked what she was feeling and everything, and telling me all the goals and everything. Then the second session, I go to more detail. I even asked her to draw the map of the flat. The map of the flat. Where is the flat? Where is the floor? How does it look like? So she will describe all that. Yeah. Then what was her feeling, and I think that after 4th or 5th session, then only I asked her to, okay, put in your accomplishments. What are your strengths? Then she has a full autobiography of herself. And then after that, she told my colleague, she said, Atta, finally, I can have a new life. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think I have to end it now. Okay, Farihin.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you, Haslinah, and thank you everyone for paying attention. If you have any questions, please add them to the chat, or you can verbalize it You can raise your hand and verbalize your question. So maybe we'll take some time to wait for the questions to arrive.
You want to stop sharing your screen?
Oh, okay, I'll stop this. Yeah, or share. Stop share. Okay.
Before we get into, as we wait for other people to ask questions, maybe I'll start with mine first. So what do you think is the mechanism that allows narrative exposure therapy to work better than other forms of therapy for PTSD?
Okay. I think the fact that when I tell you my story and you just listen with no judgment, I feel validated. You see, you do not judge me. Yeah. So that's why I'm also very careful when I advise people. Okay, you want to confide in somebody, that's fine, but be careful of who you choose as your confidant, because there are people who are very judgmental, and that may create more problems for you lah. Yeah. So being validated is very important.
As a follow-up question, thank you for that. As a follow-up question, what are the key components to ensure that someone feels validated when you're told their story?
The components of what makes a person feel validated? How do I answer that? Of course, being the listener is non-judgmental. The listener believe, yeah, to be believed is very important, yeah, and not to be say, oh no lah, it's just a small matter. No, it's not small matter. It's huge, yeah. So it's huge, especially when it happens to little children, and we think that we think that they're telling a lie, or it's very difficult to believe, especially when the perpetrator is probably your husband or probably your father. So it's very difficult. So to believe that someone would not come with this kind of stories, yeah. I mean, yeah. So according to the FBI, like for those who were raped, only 4% was their lies, made up stories about them being raped. Only 4%. Yeah. Yeah. High chances it's real. It's true. What they tell is true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that highlights a very important point about the current discourse around sexual abuse victims, that the statistics that show that someone would lie about something like this is very low compared to the probability of them telling the truth. Over to Mahen to verbalize your question.
Okay, well, I hit in the chat. Haslinah, you would have handled, a diverse case of clients that you still handle, right? I just want to know that what has been your most difficult case in a client that you've handled or experienced? Sometimes is it the nature of the trauma, or the resistance from the person themselves, or they are not able to come out of it, or something like that? So at least that gives us some insights.
One, domestic violence survivors, especially the wives, it's very difficult. For one, most of them will not want to leave their husband because of various reasons, shame, and they are very dependent, financially dependent. What I tell them, I did about 6-7 sessions with this one, and she knows that he is toxic for her. He used the screwdriver, and actually she showed me the where he poked her on the shoulder, yeah, and tried to hit her with a metal chair. So she showed me the video. I said, okay, all I said to her was this: when you are ready to make a police report, I will be there with you. So after 1 or 2 sessions after that, said, yes, I'm ready. Then we went together. Yeah. It's not easy. Yeah.
You feel that domestic violence sits on the topmost post for a traumatic
Yeah,
experience.
because for one thing, societal the stigma from society. If you divorce, that means that means you are a failure. Those kind of thing. Yeah, so it's the most difficult for me.
One more, since nobody has typed anything yet. Okay. For example, have you experienced a patient who's been talking about committing suicide because of the trauma that they've gone through, or they spoke to you about suicide, or have you experienced a patient who was coming to you for therapy and things like that? Suicide, any one of these?
And again, somebody who wants to commit suicide.
Yeah, Sabine, for example, the one who's coming to you for therapy, right? Constantly in their mind, they talk about suicide because of the therapy, because of the trauma itself.
Right.
Yeah. Or someone, while having sessions with you, they committed suicide.
Oh, so far nobody has committed suicide. Yeah. I actually there's two. Yeah, but that was, I thought I have terminated the counseling session, and there was like months after that. Yeah. So I did not expect that lah. I really did not expect it. But normally when somebody comes to me and they say, I have attempted suicide, okay, I say, okay, we're going to do a contract. Yeah, suicide contract, we're going to do this. You write down here, say, whenever I feel suicidal, I will contact, so I ask them to give me a list of 3 names. So it's like a promise, a pledge. Whenever they feel suicidal, oh, okay, this is the name that I want to contact. Yeah. So that kind of realize that, okay, actually I have friends. I'm not alone, kind of thing. So let's stop. Yeah. The two that commit suicide is I was away, so she couldn't contact me. That is what we call vicarious trauma. So it does affect me. Yeah, as a consequence, I start to, did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? Kind of thing. Yeah, but there's not much that we can do. We do the best that we can.
Hi, Haslinah. I'm Vijayan from Rotary Club of Kinta. Just wanted to ask, just add up with Mr. Mahendran's question. A suicide patient comes to you for counseling.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, severely depressed and he feel life is not worth living anymore.
Right.
Do you think of that kind of patient, or do you refer to a psychiatrist for pharmacological management or something like that?
Normally what happens is that they have already gone to a psychiatrist. I'm very sorry to say this. If there's any psychiatrist there, I want to ask for forgiveness. As far as possible, I would rather not have a client who is on medication, because it's very difficult to get through to them. You understand what I'm saying? When they are on drugs, I'm talking about even medication. They themselves admitted that it's very difficult for them to focus. So it's to me, it's like I'm encountering a wall, yeah, to talk to them. So I say, if possible, the next time you come, can you not take the medication? Yeah. So I want to see their real self. You understand what I'm saying? Their real self, because when they are on medication, they are not expressing the real hurt. They say they are hurt, but I don't see it in their expression. So I cannot delve. Yeah, I cannot delve further in. I cannot go deeper. So I always ask them, can we not take that medication just for that particular moment, because I want to see who you really are, what is really happening to you. Okay.
So any fresh case comes to you, do you refer? You think you cannot manage as a counselor?
Okay.
You cannot manage because patient with severe depression or severely traumatized.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah, I see. Yeah, if it's too much, I think you need medication. I always tell them if you have this mental distress can be because of biological factor. You know, maybe you're not well. Maybe, so I ask you, please go and see a doctor or a psychiatrist, or maybe you need medication. Then if you're talking about just your mental issues, then you can come to me. That one I can help you. But if it's something that you need medication, please go first.
Yeah. And one more question. Just now you said, you know, there's a lady sleeping with a child on the
Yeah.
ground, on the
Right.
floor,
Yes.
and then she saw her husband standing with a knife.
Yes.
The real scene, or it's only her imagination? Maybe she's
Oh.
hallucinating or what?
No, it's real. It's real. It's real. Yeah, because the other things that he has done is that one day she came back from home and he was using the scissors and cutting all her clothes. Yeah, and that time her boss was with her because she asked the boss to accompany her because she was very fearful at that time. So it's true, it's happening. Yeah. But yeah, when you see somebody sitting near you, you know that they are frightened. Especially I notice those who has trauma, their eyes is big. Yeah, they really widen their eyes. That is a symptom of fear. One of the sign of fear is when they widen their eyes. So after several sessions, I noticed their eyes seems to be more relaxed. So you
So
can.
the husband's business continue, is it? Always threatening the wife with the harmful objects and all that?
The last I heard of her was that she left the husband. She ran. She cut off all her phone lines. She ran, make a police report. The police said if he comes, yeah. This one I have to mention this because refugees actually they have no right to the law. So, but this particular the police officer is kind enough say, okay, if this happen, contact us directly. Yeah, yeah. That's one of the reason why refugees they don't make any police report. Yeah, they are very vulnerable in that sense.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you so much for the questions. Anyone else from the floor like to ask a question? If not, I will ask one more question. So in terms of the fact that narrating the story itself is therapeutic, what is your opinion on non-professionals being a listener? So there are various programs like buddy programs or various businesses that also do this, where they allow people to speak to non-professionals about anything that's on their mind. What are the benefits but also dangers of such programs?
Okay. According to the what do you call the lembaga counselor, nobody can call themselves as counselor except for the registered counselors. What do I think? If you are just you have to train them not to talk back. You know, because the tendency is that just like auntie, if you tell them a story, and they say, hey, don't do like this, don't do like that. That is the danger there. Yeah, instead of that person getting healed, they become more traumatized because you are pointing things that they should not hear. Telling them, okay. Normally, when a woman who has been abused, they come to their friend, they talk about it with their friends, and then their friends say, leave lah, isn't it? Telling them to leave. That in itself is an abuse, because all her life she has been told on what to do. So when you, an outsider, tell her the same thing that you should do this, should do that, should do this, you are also abusing that person. Yeah. So yeah.
That's a very important point.
All this buddy. So be very careful about what you tell the other person. Yeah, the victims, the survivors.
Honestly, as far as I know, as a counselor,
Yeah.
we're supposed not to advise our client.
No,
Yeah.
never. Yeah, that's why I
The
never.
counselors,
I didn't tell my
code of
client
ethics,
to.
No,
Yeah.
there's so many people claim that they're counselors. They are
Mhm.
not registered with Lembaga Council of Malaysia.
Yes.
These people tend to give a lot of advice, guidance,
Exactly.
tell
Yes.
them what to do, not to do, and all that.
Not.
We as the counselors, I think normally we give them suggestions, some proposals and all that. They
Yes.
choose which one and all that. We supposed not to advise them. That is
True.
not a professional counselors.
Yes.
We
Yes.
listen to them and then we maybe can give some suggestions, proposals, that's all. We cannot dictate them, okay, you do this, you do that and all that. We are
Yeah.
not supposed to do that.
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
It's very damaging. It can be very damaging.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think there are no more questions from the floor, but also we are almost at the top of the hour, so we can end the session now. I would just like to say, great, amazing talk, Haslinah, and amazing work that you're doing, helping with victims of trauma. It's very comforting and inspiring to know that someone like you is doing such a great job. Thank you so much. Over to Mahin.
Okay. Thank you, Farihin. Well, thank you, Haslinah. I mean, indeed, it was an eye-opener with some of your sharings, right? Trauma is definitely real. Yeah. Trauma is also a taboo. It's not easy to talk with people. And sometimes when coming and talking to people, like, for example, someone for help, the person that you talk to, they are not in a position to help either because they are not the professionals, they are not experienced, and they don't know how to help, right? And saying something and not saying something, both can be detrimental as well. Yeah, because like the sharing goes like, we have to be a registered counselor. And sometimes the trauma that is being shared, they sometimes go relive the entire moments again and again and again. And they are not really in the proper frame of mind. There's no quick fix answers that we can give to them. And even if we want to help them, they will say, no, please, don't I don't want to talk to anybody else. I don't want to. And we ourselves are being pulled into that roller coaster internet. So, well, the answers, it's difficult. There's no one quick fix answer. But I think creating the awareness over and over and over again, somehow that would bring some form of light to people that really need help. And I think you will also, many of you would agree, social media is never the place to go and seek for an answer when there is a trauma because everybody else have their own devils in their own heads and they will definitely give you wrong answers. Yeah. So amazing. Thank you, Haslinah, for all your sharing. Farihin, thank you so much for your time today to being a moderator as well. And before we end, allow us to share next week's, the 5th in our series, the talks information. Gordon, over to you. Gordon, are you there? Or we'll wait for Gordon to share the next week's slide. We lost Gordon. Okay, let me see if I can help you share that. Are you able to see the next week's slide? Able to see? Yes? Okay. Well, this will be the next one, eating disorders, into my shoes, understand me, help me. Again, this is something we are in no position to give the answer to do it or not to do it. And let's hear it from the experts, Dr. Noor Ron and our moderator, Dr. Vinod Krishnan. Then continue to have a great day today. Thank you for joining us and see you next week. Bye, everybody.